Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about Galaxy Quest. I watched this last night with my wife, and I think it was the first time I've seen it since the theatrical release. I don't think I've actually watched it since then. And I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and I think I enjoy it for two different reasons, because I think it operates on two different levels. On one level, we have both an homage and a parody of Star Trek. It is both these things at the same time. And I think they nailed everything they needed to nail, note perfect, in both those regards. As an homage of the film's franchise, the television series, the film, and the fans, it does a wonderful job. And as a parody of those same things, the TV show, the films, the fans, it also does everything perfectly. The obsessive nature, the absolute fascination with something that, at least at this stage in the storyline in the film, this film was in the past. Because in the film, they're talking about a television series that had not been aired for 18 years. Which is kind of the period that Star Trek lived through when the original series ended before the Next Generation started. And of course, once the Next Generation started, you ended up with, an entire new group of fans, and of course the franchise continued with other television series and such. Many of which I enjoyed segments of, but I'm still a major fan of the original, even though it's very, very cheesy and tacky. I freely admit this. Though I'll have to say that DS9 was probably the best writing and story and characters, but that's just me. And just if you take this film just as that parody and an homage to Star Trek, you will have a great time watching this movie. It plays that up. It does an excellent job of immersing you and bringing you along for the ride. And yet you can still sit back and go, wow, that really is true, isn't it? And in a kind of a painful way in some ways at certain points. I saw a little bit of myself in some of that fandom. It made, that opening 10-15 minutes a little uncomfortable, alright? Because maybe there's a little bit too much people I know in there. But this film also operates on a different level. On a different level, this film, and it's my favorite film theme, is about redemption. Is about a group of people redeeming themselves, not just in their own eyes, but in the eyes of the people who, in some ways, can be said to worship them. Because these are actors that really haven't done a great deal since they did that show. They've been riding that wave, that crest of fame, going to different gigs and doing commercials and personal appearances and conventions to continue feeding off of that history, that age of glory, if you will. The golden era for their acting careers. And nobody in this film does that better than Tim Allen. Now, I think this is one of Tim Allen's better roles. I really do. I haven't seen Red Belt yet. I've got it on DVD. I haven't watched it yet, but I hear he does a really good job in that. I think he's an underappreciated actor who just does a lot of really bad vehicles. Like, I don't have any interest in this Santa Claus movie, for example. But this film really redeems himself. And then, of course, you have Sigourney Weaver, who looked wonderful. I apologize, I'm a guy here. She looked great in this movie, and she was funny, because it's playing this character that was just fluff in the television series she was supposed to have been in, and yet shows the world through this film that she's more than that. She's a real human being. Alan Rickman, I love Alan Rickman in these small roles. Yes, I know he's famous for playing Snape in the Harry Potter series, and the movie opened, yesterday here in the U.S., and so it's everywhere, people talking about Alan Rickman. There's slash fiction out there with Alan Rickman, which is mildly disturbing. I know one woman on YouTube who loves Alan Rickman, even though, she has a huge crush, and even though he's 40 years older than she is, I think, and I don't think he's straight, she still loves Alan Rickman. Now, these people really deliver the film in its main storyline, but the gem of this movie is Tony Shalhoub, playing the tech sergeant. he plays this mildly like autistic like person in real life with an ability to focus on things, an ability to perceive the world around him in a way that most people don't have. He very much takes things at their face value, just like, yeah, this is what's going on right now. Cool, let's go with it. But he can memorize all his lines when he was in a series. He never missed a beat. He was always able to bring himself to the job and do a really good, really do a good job at what he did. And that was appreciated by the actors in the television series they're portraying, and it comes to play here when he's able to do the things that need to be done under pressure because he can focus himself and yet still look around him at all times and perceive things in as they are, the wonder, the marvel. He's not overstressed about the fact that he's on a spaceship surrounded by aliens. He just takes it in stride, man. I'm on a spaceship surrounded by aliens, which is very much what so many geeks would do, given that ability to do that in a Star Trek or a Star Wars world. I mean, there's some people would be freaking out, but some of us would be going, I'm on a spaceship with aliens! So, Tony Shalhoub is the fan in the movie, and it was a great time. Now, even though I've talked about the fact that this movie works on these two levels, it still delivers a rousing adventure. It's got drama, it's got conflict, it's got resolution, it's got some solid action. I like the special effects in here. I mean, they're not the best special effects the world has ever seen, but the technology looks good, the spaceships look great, and I think some of the aliens in this are awesome. Yeah, some of the CGI aliens, the little cute ones are like yay big, they were alright, but the work they did with actual physical props and stuff was wonderful, and the actual main bad guy is awesome. He looks so good in this movie. They put the money into that one figure really to really bring him up there and make him look impressive, and they did. So this is a PG film, not PG-13, PG. So it really can appeal to a wide audience. There's some moderate sensuality, but it's completely off screen. You know what I mean? There's like kissing on screen, so there's nothing there. There's very cartoony violence. There's nothing here to really upset anyone over the age of, like, I'd say 6 or 7. Appropriate for the entire family. But Galaxy Quest is a great time. I really enjoyed it the first time I saw it, and I really enjoyed it yesterday. And there's a bunch of extra features on this which I haven't had a chance to look at yet, particularly about how they designed the aliens and stuff, and I'm looking forward to looking at that. So if you enjoy science fiction, and if you're a Star Trek fan in particular, and you don't mind taking a little ribbing because you are a member of the Star Trek fandom, this film is a whole lot of fun.